Welcome to the Purl Girl Knit Podcast, episode 3. It is September 2nd, and it is Friday. I am Catherine, your host. Thank you for joining me for this episode. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for listening to my podcast and to what I have to say about my craft. If you are a new viewer, well, thank you so much for checking me out. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram under the Purl Girl Knits. And we have a Ravelry group, so you can just go on Ravelry on the groups tab and look for the Purl Girl Knits podcast. So, let's get started. I've started to record today because I want to get on a Friday basis podcast, because Friday will be my day off from now until possibly the end of December, Christmas time-ish. And I will for sure do one episode a month. I'm still not too sure if I'm going to do an episode every 2 weeks or every month. I think it's mostly going to depend every month on what I get done, if it's worth showing it to you after 2 weeks, or if it's just better to wait a month and just show it to you a month later. So it's now been 2 weeks since the last podcast, and so this is why I'm doing it 2 weeks afterwards, because I want to get on the first Friday of the month kind of thing and go from there, and then I'll see how it works. Please let me know if you have any comments on that, if it works for you, if it works less, or if you prefer 2 weeks, if you prefer a month. What do you guys prefer? Please leave a comment below and let me know, or below or on the Ravelry group. That's also another option under the episode 3 thread. So thank you. The other little piece or question that I wanted to ask you guys is, I was actually wondering if you would much rather have 2 different podcasts, to basically one knitting, spinning related and sewing when sewing happens, and then a different one for cross stitch. Let me know once again what you guys think, what you would prefer. If you would prefer if one longer podcast is great for you guys since you can see everything, or if you would prefer 2 different podcasts every month. And then in a case like that, I could easily do beginning of the month knitting or cross stitching, and then mid-month the other one, and go from there. So just please let me know and tell me what you think about that. Okay, so let's start with knitting. A lot of things happened knitting-wise in the last 2 weeks, a lot and not a lot at the same time. One of the reasons why I did also decided to podcast today was that I wanted to start a project next week, and I wanted to show you the packaging and the skeins of yarn before unwinding and taking care of all of that. And the second reason also is because I did a mistake on my shawl, and I wanted to show you guys before I actually frog everything, or at least start to fix the mistake, because this is my opinion on a podcast. It's awesome to always show those beautiful things and awesome projects, but reality is we have to frog sometimes in everything, in cross-stitching, in knitting, and sometimes in spinning we have to unwind or cut or make changes to what we spin. It is life, we're all humans, we're not all perfect, and I think this is what is a good reason to do the podcast, to show you. So let's start with my first FO. For those who follow me on Instagram, you totally have seen this last week. This is the jumbo blanket. Yay! It's done. It took me 3 days, but not 3 full days. Like end of the afternoon, evening kind of thing, morning with my coffee type of thing. So this is the story of my partner's blanket. When we first met and he actually discovered that I was knitting, I asked him if there was anything he would like, and he did say that he might like something for his couch. He has a brown couch in his office, and he wanted to have something on it. So I ordered some yarn, cheap, not good, I didn't have a lot of money kind of yarn, and I started to knit him his blanket, sorry. I just couldn't do it. It was an hexagonal blanket. It was gorgeous. But I was getting to that point where it was actually hurting me to knit the blanket in my back. So I gave it a rest. I tried later, I tried back and forth, and it's just not working for me. So in January of this year, I've actually decided to just let it go, figure everything out, and actually started to do squares instead. So that I would knit a tons of different square, just patch them all together, and then create a blanket out of that. Still not working. I did about 4 or 5 squares, maybe 6, but the yarn is super rough. It's scratchy when you actually have it around your hand, when you hold your strand. It's super scratchy, it hurts, and it has no stretch into it. It's just no fun. So I decided to let it go, and when I was in Quebec, like I said last podcast, I got that jumbo yarn. So I finally went to Stash here in town in Calgary and got the needles that I needed for it. So I've knitted this blanket on a US 36, which is a 20 millimeter, because sometimes the 20 millimeter goes under US 36 and sometimes it goes under US 35, depending on where you are and what you do, but this is my jumbo needle, which I kind of like. There's one more size that is bigger than this, which is the US 50, if I recall correctly. And this is the second biggest that I could find. And this is a needle. So because of that big of a needle, it went super fast, right? So this is a blanket. So this is how wide it is, and this is how long it is. It's nice, there's a nice bounciness to it, and there's, whoop, let me try to, there's a nice stretch as well. So it's nice, it's super squishy, it's super warm, it's fantastic, and it's the exact color of his couch. So that was great. I didn't use any pattern, I just went with what I thought could work. I think I cast it on 80 stitches on the long side and ended up with 60 rows, I believe. I would need to look it up. I'm going to put the info over here. But yeah, just plain knitting. Nothing too complicated. So that was a start and a finish object, which is great. And then I had another yarn to do some cushions, and I wanted to do 2 cushions, and like I said, I believe last episode, I know that we have 1 ball of yarn, which is, so the blanket was made, out of the Naturalia yarn. This is the color number 6, which is the Willow colorway, and it's 200 grams for 130 yards. I had 4 skeins to do that blanket. And I knew I had one in my stash that I bought previously in a yarn sale somewhere, and that's why I wanted to do a blanket. So with 1 ball, I could do 2 front of pillows, and my sister proposed to weave a back to go with it. Sadly, I realized that the yarn that I bought, as much as it's the same company and in the same kind of idea, it was not the same yarn. So this was Nature by Borgo de Pazzi? And this is in their colorway number 4, and it is, see where the sadly is coming out, 100 grams instead of 200 grams. 100 grams for 82 yards. But see how it can be confusing? Yeah. So with half of a skein that I thought in my head I had, I did one front pillow. Which fits on the rectangle pillow that he has already on his couch. I do like the fact though that it has different types of brown into it, and little pops here and there of darker brown on a lighter brown. And because of that, it does fit well with the blanket. Let me show you. It's big, it's so big. See? It fits. It still fit well together. Now I just need to think about, am I doing 3 pillows and I just buy another skein of the Naturalia in the color of the blanket and make 2 pillows out of that, and then you have that one nice, not as identical as the other pillows, or if I just leave it like that. I tried to find some of this one, of the nature one, and I can't. So if you guys have any suggestion, please go ahead in the Ravelry group or in the comments below and tell me what you think. If I just go ahead with one pillow, I don't really have a blanket. 1 pillow, or if I should go with 3 pillows. So 2 that matches exactly the blanket, and then that one middle one that is like a centerpiece. Tell me what you think. Can't wait to actually hear what you guys have to say about that. And when I bought my jumbo needles, I also got a new pair of Knitter's Pride Dreams US 1 2.25 millimeter for sock knitting. Because right now I do have a 2.5 millimeter, which I'm curious to see what the 2.5 would do compared to the I'm curious to see what the 2.25 would do compared to the 2.5. So I'm going to do a test out of that. And now let's go to my shawl. So I am doing the Mystery Knit Along shawl for 2016 of Romy Hill Design. I love her design, you guys know that. And I was in clue number 2 because they're divided in clues because of how she released it. And I've made a mistake, as I said previously. A sad little mistake. It's always sad when you realize you actually made a mistake and that you actually made the mistake 20 or 25 rows before you realized it. So here is the front. See? And then this is the part that I've knitted here. So have a good look at this. And then let me show you the back. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people right now that knows exactly where I'm going with this. If you know my pain. Here's the back. As you can see, the back is way prettier than the front. The reason to that is because the back is supposed to be the front. And it is not at the moment. I realized that on Monday. And Monday was not a good day. It was just, you know when the day is always just gonna win against you and you have no chance of winning. Monday was that kind of day for me. I dropped coffee in the morning. It started badly like that, dropping coffee everywhere. And then later on in the evening, as I was working on my shawl, a good part of the afternoon and a good part of the evening, I realized that, but because it's kind of a lace pattern, you can't realize the pattern, like how it's supposed to be, until it's actually done. And so I realized at about 10 o'clock at night the mistake that I've made, which was the back and front and back mistake. And so I left it just aside. It was way too late. It was 10 o'clock in the evening. it was too late for me to try to figure out what to do, and I just decided that it would probably be better to not try to figure out what to do at 10 p.m. at night. So I just left it aside, and then I started to knit on my other project, which I'm just going to briefly show you, which is a pair of black socks. But it's black socks on dark brown needles. So I was losing stitches, I was always going, I didn't have enough light. I just let it go and just went to bed at that point. So with this shawl, I'm gonna try something that I never had to do before, but on the other hand, I would have to rip up, because even that little section here, like on top of the eyelet going up, so between here and here, it's all on the wrong side. So what I'm actually going to try to do is that I'm going to try to separate both, put a lifeline in both, turn it around, and try to do, because everything is perfectly like it's supposed to be, just on the wrong side. So what I'm going to try to do is actually to catch knit stitch it. Bum bum bum. I'm going to try to do that. I have nothing to lose because I would have to frog this out anyway. So I'm going to try to catch knit stitch because I realized that when I attached that triangle to the rest of the pattern, I missed a row that was taking you back on the good side to continue the work. So I'm missing one row of just a plain row. So I think I'm going to try to do that actually. I'm going to try to separate both of my sections. So I'm going to try to separate my clue 1 from my clue 2 and KitchenAid stitch it and see how that goes. It's a bit scary, but if I never try it, I'll never gonna know. On the other hand, frogging all of that section, let me show you the good side, because the good side's pretty. I'm stuck with my circular needles. Frogging all of that section all the way up to here would also make me sad. So, one or the other, I have to try something. I at least have to try something, and then if it doesn't work, I'm gonna frog it out and start over again because the pattern is beautiful. I'm gonna start over again. This is with Edgelock Fiber. Sorry I didn't say it. I'm bad at that. I'm so bad at that. If you guys have any questions, if I forget to say needle sizes or yarns, just leave a comment and I'll answer. So the white and black right here is Typewriter in their sock colorway, so Edgehog sock colorway. And the colorful little part over here is their twist sock base. And this was my June twist sock club that I got with them because I did get the 3-month club. I will show you later my August twist sock club from Edgelock Fiber. So if you haven't received it, if this is what you are waiting for, spoiler alert, I'm gonna show it later. So I'm gonna put the time at the beginning for sure of when it's going to be in the video, so that if you don't want to see it, you can just jump ahead. So that was project number 2. Still in the making, and I will let you guys know how separating it goes. It's scary though. And so third project that I've started was my partner's socks. He just wanted a nice black pair of socks. So I'm knitting him a pair of socks. This is West Yorkshire Spinner's Signature 4-ply. And it is black. I don't know if there's a specific colorway because there's tags everywhere. It's just really plain black. And it is 437 yards, 75% wool, 25% nylon. So I am making just a plain pair of socks out of it. and I've never made a men pair of socks before, so it's kind of a trial for me as well, so I am learning as I am going. I did made 72 stitches around, rounded toe going up. I need to make him try tonight and see how is the 72 stitches fitting on his feet, and see if it's a good size or if I should actually go lower and have a 64 or a 68 instead. I am knitting this on a 2.5 Knitter's Pride's Dream needles. Nothing fancy, just plain black socks, but that's what he wants. And so I'll go with those two later on with acquisition. It's not really acquisition, but you'll understand. In my future projects to come, I'll do that over there. So let's jump into the cross stitch for my two project that you've all seen before more than once. Because it's the two projects that I've been working on. It's, yeah, you'll know. So the first one is the Stack of Critters stocking by Dimension Kits. This is how it's going to look like. Aren't they cute? They're totally adorable. So this is how it's supposed to look like. And this is where I'm gonna put a picture of where I was last week. And here it is where I am today. Bum, bum, bum. It's really starting to take shape. So let me get closer to show you guys. Okay, so I did work on that little bit of scarf that I told you last week that I forgot, that I was a little bit sad because I wanted to get him done, and now he is, because he has this little piece of scarf over here. I also did work quite a bit on Mama Bear and Baby Bear. As I'm now going down, these are the last two animals of the stocking, and then I'll have some gifts to do over here, and that will be it. What I also did this week is that I added the eyes on all of them, which now they actually look like they're looking like animals with eyes. And I also tried to start the back stitching, as you can see. The reason why I did that is simply because I was listening to some floss do this week, and a lot of people are actually saying that keeping the back stitch for the end is not a good idea. But stitching as you go is also kind of hard. So a lot of people are just doing a bit, back stitching a bit, doing a bit, back stitching a bit. My plan for this was, of course, as a newbie, to keep the back stitch for the end. And then I really got worried when I heard all of those people saying that this was not a good idea. So that's why I've started to do the back stitch over here, to see what it was all about, since I never backstitched before. I don't mind it. It's strange, I know. So I'm gonna try to actually keep it for the end, because for me the back stitching is actually making the animal take shape and be fully complete. So I will try to keep my back stitching for the end as I planned to do, and see if it's a bad idea. What I may do is that I may finish all the big portion of the cross stitch, the normal cross stitch that goes here and here. And because there's snow all around, and then you also have the upper border where you would normally put the name, but where I will put the Merry Christmas, depending on the two stocking. So I will leave that. I will start the back stitch, and if I realize as I go and do the back stitch that, oh my gosh, why didn't I listen to everybody else? Well, at least I will still have a few cross stitch little bit to do all around. So that will be my goal. That's how I decided to divide it, just in case this is driving me nuts. So this is the Stack of Critters by Dimension Kit. It's coming along. It really is. Slowly there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And then my second cross stitch that I'm working on is the Boba Fett cross stitch, which is a Christmas gift for my partner because he's a huge Boba Fett fan. And I will put a picture of where I was last time that we talked. And here is where I am today. So not much was done on this one in 2 weeks. I did get this page almost complete. I have just a few things that needs to finish, but it's mostly complete. And that's pretty much what I did. I didn't do much in the meaning that I only did one page, but on the other hand, I did one page. I think it's good. I think it's really good. So, whoop, I'll put that in the back. Like this. So here's the Boba Fett. And this is by the Stitch Bucket on Etsy. So it's nice because it's actually starting to take shape, which I like. I like when whatever we create is actually starting to create and looks like something. That's my little slightly reward for myself. And I do appreciate it because now I can see it taking shape. And my plan after that will be to, when I will be done this page, because as I said previously in another episode, it's easier for me to go up and down as I stitch. And so I will go and pick it up here and make my way around and go back down. So this is my goal on the Boba Fett cross stitch. The other thing, I will love to finish the Stack of Critters in September, as I said in my last episode. I think it's doable. It all depends on how much time I give to the Stack of Critters compared to how much time I can actually give the Boba Fett. Because I can only stitch the Boba Fett when my partner is not around, as he's not aware of it. And because of that, every time that he's not here, I do put time in the Boba Fett. And then as soon as that he's at home, I jump on the Stack of Critters. So my goal is to finish this because I have another one that I wanted to have done for Christmas. Now, to be realistic, I don't think it will be done for Christmas. The Stack of Critters, for sure, heads down, that will be done for Christmas. But this was the second one that I was planning on doing, which is the Jolly Trio Stocking by Dimension Kit again. And so I wanted to have both of them on each side of that frame that, you guys, I finally actually hanged the frame in my house. Only took 9 months, but it's now done. The thing is that I wanted my partner and I to be here together so that we would decide together where to put all the frames, and having days off together really doesn't happen often. It really doesn't. And that's one of the reasons why it took so long for us to actually put them. But this one over here, I just got, because it's a big frame, it's a 24 by 36. I really had trouble finding something great for it, and I finally ended up finding a frame for it. And that was the push to put everything up. Anyway, tangent. So I want to have those two done so that those two will go over here. So I'm pretty confident that this will be done for Christmas. Not sure I will have time to do two for Christmas. If not, there's Christmas next year. Christmas next year, it's gonna be done. I'll have to. This year, we'll have to see what is gonna be up and running. So this is for cross stitch and upcoming project at the same time. Cross stitch related, I ordered some of the Prairie Schoolers Santa because as you all know, because the entire world knows, Prairie Schooler is out of business and will not print anymore any of the patterns. And so if you want to actually get something, you need to get it. And as I was looking to it to see if there was anything, I don't want to buy too much because I know I'm always going to find something else that I want to do more than something else. So I kind of want to, as I have a yarn stash and a fiber stash, on my cross stitch, I want to be proactive and buy what I'm going to do next. So for example, I got those two knowing that I would cross stitch this one, and as this one will be complete, I will start this one as soon as the other one is finished. And this is why I bought those. But because Prairie Schooler is out of business, I decided to just went ahead and just buy a little few. I just buy the patterns, the charts. I didn't bought all the fabric and all the floss and all that jazz because I can't buy everything, right? And so because of that, I only bought those little three. It hasn't been shipped yet. My orders are still processing. So as soon as I get them, I will show you guys. I ordered that and I think it's gonna be great. We have a big wall in front of me, as you all know, like in front of me, right? And I think it would be nice to have those three little things there for Christmas because I love Christmas. Everybody knows me, knows how much I love Christmas. And my house has barely no decoration right now because we moved and we didn't want it to buy too many Christmas decoration prior to it, knowing that we would move eventually in the future. And so we have a little bit, but not too much. So, stockings, big go. Those Prairie Schooler Santa, I'm pretty sure will not be done for this year, but it's something that will most likely be done for next year. And I also got from Brooks Books Design. I will put her name below because it got me a few tries to figure it out. She does have a 24 days to Christmas pattern. They are free. So there is actually 25. You have 1 through 24 for the 24 days before Christmas. And then you have a 25 for the 25th of December, which is Christmas. And they are free. You can go on her website, which I will link in the comments below or in my show notes on Ravelry. And I'm not too sure if you can get it on her website. I did something, clearly. And it transferred me to Craftsy, which I already had an account of. And so I got mine on Craftsy for free. They are adorable. They're little animals with the numbers for the day. And every animals represent a part of the world. They are adorable. They're the cutest little thing ever. So what I decided to do for next year, so I'm not going to start it now, but in 2017, as it's actually right around the corner, we're in September, guys. 2017 is going to come quicker than we think. And I'm going to stitch, my goal will be to actually stitch 3 of those little guys because they're pretty little. They're 3 or 4 inches, depending on what fabric you take and all that jazz. And there is 25 of them. So if I do 3 a month from January on, it would take me all the way to August, to the end of August. And what I wanted to do with that is that I wanted to do an advent calendar out of it and have a nice back fabric and those little days stitched. I will sew them in front of that fabric, has little pockets, and have a 24 days of Christmas. I think that could be so cool and so gorgeous. Now I will take the time to shop for really good cross-stitch fabric for it because I want it to look a little bit vintagey and I like vintage. I like old and vintage things. That is my go-to. So I would like a nice old looking fabric. I'm not a big fan of the big hand-dyed with a lot of colors going on. But if anybody has an idea of a good fabric that would work well for an old looking or vintage looking advent calendar, oh my gosh, please leave a comment below and tell me what I need to get. I think that what I will do is that I'll keep the 25th to do like a heather for the piece, and then the 24, and just find some sort of border to do underneath it or on both sides, or just, I'll see, I'll figure something out. But I thought that could be really nice. My partner and I are both great. We love tea, and I just thought that having 24 days of teas or things like that could be really cool. Or just like a little treat in it every day, or something. So if you have any ideas, please leave a comment below. If you're interested in doing a stitch along in 2017 for those little 24 days of Christmas before Christmas little animal, please also leave a comment below or in the Ravelry group, one or the other, depending on if you're on Ravelry or not. I'm all good. And if not, I may just do it, and whoever wants to follow me, follow me. It might be just that kind of thing. I'm gonna do it. If you want to do it with me, stitch 3 a month for 8 months, and then assemble it. Or if you want to do it, stitch 3 a month with me as you go, but don't want to do an advent calendar, but is doing something else with it, by all means, do whatever you want with it. It's all good. And I would be really curious to see what you would do with those 24 days before Christmas teamed cross stitch. I'm curious to see. So I think that's pretty much it for cross stitch at the moment. I've been doing those ones for quite a few months now, and I kind of want to do something else, but I know I have to get them finished, because if I don't, I'm never going to get them finished. I'm just going to jump to something else. So I'm going to get them finished before starting anything else. I do admire the ones that have like 17 and 25 projects on the go. Wow. I admire you guys. Whoever, if you're listening to me, I admire you. If not, I need to. I like the ones, some of the people has like a monthly rotation, so they have 4 or 5 projects on the go, and every week they kind of change the project they're working on. So they can easily work on 4 projects and still give time to all of them. I don't know how that would work for me. If you ever experienced it, leave a comment, tell me how you think, if you are a rotation person or not. Please let me know. And so next I will talk, it's not really acquisition, but so I will get into future project, as I just talked about my future cross stitch project, and go into my future knitting project and spinning project, because I have a big spinning project going. Let's start with the spinning project, because I'm really excited. So we are September 2nd, yesterday was September 1st, Thursday September 1st. As September 1st comes around, it is Spinzilla! So I did finally registered for Spinzilla yesterday. I'm really, really excited. I did went into the Rogue Spinner, so which is the individual one. You have tons of teams that you can go and look at. Some of the teams meet into shops, into rent space, or some of the team meets by internet, or some of them don't meet at all. They just figure things out. I just thought that with my schedule and with my life, it was just easier to go at in the individual challenge. So basically, Spinzilla, for those who doesn't know what Spinzilla is, it is for 1 week, you spin as much as you can spin. And this year it ends up perfectly because I am not working that week. So I will be able to spin as much as I want to spin. I may have to say to my partner that he's going to be the one making dinner that week. I may have to actually have a talk with him to allow me to spin more. see. We'll see. I'm really super excited and thrilled about it. So I think that on next month's episode, or the next episode, or in 2 episodes, depending if I do a 2 weeks or a 4 week, I will have a Spinzilla segment, or I may just shoot a different segment in a different video, not an episode, but just a Spinzilla prep video to show you what I plan to spin and see how much I can get out of there. I think that the last year, the Rogue Spinner winner had like 13,000 yards or something like that. Don't quote on me, but wow. How can you, how? It's amazing. There is so many amazing people out there. Oh my gosh, there's so many people out there. And so that was my spinning future project. So I'm gonna finish the bobbin that I'm doing right now. And I see if I finish the bobbin that I'm doing and do a second bobbin and ply it as I was planning to, or if I just finish the bobbin, put it aside, and just jump on Spinzilla stuff. Because I want my wheel to be completely empty before I start Spinzilla. So I'll see. And spoiler alert, for August Twist Sock Edge Og Club, this is what I got. If you haven't received it yet, look away. I will put the timing that you can safely go back to and just jumped all the way. I'm gonna try to not take too long, but this is the best one I got in the 3 months. Oh yeah. Okay, so if you guys remember correctly, because I remember correctly, I did in, oops, another little battery. Sorry. I did got in June, I did got the mix colorway. It's really cloudy outside, so I had to turn on this light if I didn't want it to have half of my face in the shadow, but the color is still pretty accurate. This is gorgeous. I am using this Minx colorway in my shawl, which I think I forgot to say. I did say the typewriter, but I think I forgot to say this one. So this is the other color in my shawl. And then in July, Twist colorway again, I did got the Candy Floss, which was this one. And in which I'm planning to make a pair of socks for my sister with it, because she loves it. So this is coming your way, because I know she listens. Hi. This is coming your way, eventually. As soon as I'm done with Jason's socks, I'm gonna start knitting those ones. And so this month, in August, I did receive the Magic Potion colorway. It is so pretty. It is so pretty. Look at this. Isn't this amazing? Isn't this amazing? I saw somebody on Ravelry who actually did a shawl scarf kind of thing with those two together. They do go really well together, I have to say. But here it is, my 3 twist sock club from Hedgehog that I got throughout the summer. It's so pretty. I like Hedgehog. I like Hedgehog so much. So this is in the upcoming pair of socks. I need to figure out a great pattern to go with it because it's a lot of colors. I don't want to overpower the colors. I don't want to have too big of a pattern in it so that we're going to lose it. So I may go with one of Mina Phillips' Beyond Vanilla Socks kind of pattern with it so that it's not just plain knitting, but there's also a little something on it. So this is in the making. I need to figure out what to do with this because this is so beautiful. I want to have the perfect pattern for it. Also, it is my birthday next week. And as I don't live near my family, as you know, I live in Alberta. I am originally from Quebec and I have family in New Brunswick. So we're kind of all over the map. But they sent me my gift by mail. I think 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, something like that. I received it, and of course when I received it, I saw the label on it and I knew where it was from, and I knew it was yarn or yarn related. I did open it previous because there was a scratch. There was a hole actually in the bag, in the delivery bag, and I wanted to make sure that whatever was inside didn't got damaged by the mail, and it didn't, luckily. So I'm going to show you the yarn that I got because this is what I want. Because it was my birthday gift, I thought it would be really cool to actually start knitting on it on my birthday next week. So this is my plan. So my family, my parents, my sister, and my brother-in-law, they all gathered together and made an amazing gift to me. It's incredible. I never thought I would actually get that. My sister asked me if I knew what it was, and I would have never expected. It is, sorry for the crinkling, it is Art Yarns, and it is the Silk Mohair Blanket Shawl Kit. You guys, honestly, this is going to be amazing. And they got it in the natural colorway. So there's all those gorgeous colors. I'm a neutral girl. I'm not a big color girl. I need to get more color in my life, but oh well. Oh, it's really getting dark outside. But the colors are pretty accurate if you don't have the glare. So, and because I need to unwind it and divide stuff, I wanted to show you guys before I divide everything up. But this is, woo. Oh, there was just lighting. So this is amazing. It's gonna be at the shop, which is Multico in Sutton. Amazing shop. If you ever go there, by all means, go and see them. The owners are wonderful. I would recommend that shop, heads down, to anybody that goes there. And if you don't, they have an incredible website and a great customer service for ordering online. Heads down, they are wonderful. And so I will get all of that prepped, and I will start knitting it on my birthday next week, which I'm excited. And I think this is all I got, to be frankly honest. Oh yeah, and I will also try, I need to give love to the baby blanket that I was doing, that I showed in my first episode. I need to give this blanket some love. I have to. So I decided in September to dedicate at least one row a day, because every row takes me like an hour or so, or an hour and a half, depending on where you are. My goal would be to give at least a row a day on the blanket in September. And so that would, hopefully, by the end of the month, I would be done the middle section if I do that. So hopefully I will be able to do it, and I will get it done. We'll see. We'll see. I think that's all I got. This is all I have for, I'm looking around me to see if I showed everything I wanted to show, because everything is like around me. I think this is all I got for you. So please, if you have any comments to any of the questions I talked about, please leave a comment below or in the Ravelry group. I'm more than happy to answer anything, and I will hope to see you next time. I'm not too sure, like I said, if it's going to be in 2 weeks or in a month, but if you want to know, just subscribe and then you'll get a notification, when my next episode is going to be up. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.